I know it's a little bit dark in here. It probably is darker for me than it is for you, but it's like 7 o'clock on a Tuesday evening, 6:45 on the 20th of May. Welcome to The Anxious Woman. That's me. That's Poet. I have the time tonight. I have the ability to openly talk. I just made a cup of tea. My heart rate is at 128. My blood pressure is 88/60. My oxygen level is at 93. I'm horribly dehydrated. The veins in my hands just scare the hell out of me. I'm not doing great. Let's just put everything out on the table and let's just get super real. Okay, let's just get super real. My situation that I'm in, probably most of the people in the world are in or worse. So nothing that I say is like, woe is me, I'm the only person in the world going through this. I know that's not the truth. I know that what I'm going through is probably so minuscule to so many people. But right now it's my life and this is what I'm going through. The last video I put up about do I stay or do I go, I deleted. I just deleted it in the last few minutes. And I deleted it for a reason, for me and for another person. Because I know what it feels like to be hurt. So I know what someone else feels like to be hurt. I know hurt. Trust me in that. I think we all know what hurt feels like. So I have had, I don't even know where to start. Where do I even go with anything? I don't know. Let's try tea first. That's just green tea with a little bit of sugar. Let me just give you just a little tidbit of my life today, okay? Today's the 20th. Today is the anniversary of George's father's passing. We went over to the cemetery. We took one of the flowers from the bouquet that George got me for Mother's Day, and we took a flower over, and we put it in the little holder. And we stayed there a little while, and then we went from there to Lowe's because the refrigerator that's in our townhome is 2 years old. It's only 2 years old. It's a GE. And it was time to replace the water filter. You have to get a specific number, right? And the red light was on, which indicated it needed to be changed. So George ordered one from Amazon. Yesterday, it came at 5 a.m. this morning. And he put it in, and it kept coming up error. So we called GE, and GE said that it probably was defective. So we have it sitting over by the door to send it back to Amazon, so that he can get the credit, because we drove over to Lowe's and talked with the gentleman over there and explained our situation, and he gave us a GE filter. It was $49 in tax, $52. So it's the second filter we've bought in 2 days. Now he'll get credit for the first one, but the second one we brought it home, put it in, it immediately worked. Great, wonderful. So you could say, well, we've had a decent day. I can tell you what we didn't do today. We didn't get a walk-in. We have areas in the house to paint. I'm going to put it all out. All of it. Everything I can put out, I'm putting out. I'm going to open up the book. I'm going to shake the pages. We have areas to paint. We've been in this house since February 10th or 11th or something like that. And I'm the type of person, it's like, let's get this done. The steps look terrible. For me, they look terrible. We bought the stain, the money was put in for the paint, for the stain, for the steps, and the paintbrushes and all the stuff, the green paint for the door, the front door, the back door, the bottom door. Like, this is all first world problems. I get it. The paint for this green wall. Like everything's bought, everything's at the bottom of the steps. And it has sat down there for how long? Now, all of this was put on my Discover card. Paint is like $56 a gallon now, before tax. Rollers, trays, brushes, you name it. That's just the tip of the iceberg. And the paint sat. Now, I've painted in my life. I've painted houses. I've painted over my lifetime. But I had this fear that the minute I would go to try to paint something here, that George would be over my shoulder telling me I wasn't doing it right, or wanting to kind of get in there. You know how it's like all the furniture that he bought and put together, he needed to do that on his own, because he said he always did everything on his own. So I would try to help, and I would just be in the way, and I would just back up. That was the plain and simple. And I let him do it. So this afternoon, I decided I'm going to go to the back door and I'm going to do the outer trim. It's just around the glass. And I got started on it, and there he was. And he was going to tape the doorknob and tape the lock. And quite honestly, for me, I don't need the blue tape. I don't like it. I don't want it. But he likes the blue tape. So, okay, we did the blue tape. And he was watching me paint. And I said to him, do you want to do this? Like, would it feel better? Would you want to do this? And he said, yeah, I'll do it. So I just got my water and got my coffee, and I went upstairs in my bedroom. And I laid on the bed, and I put my earbuds in. Because I thought, what's the point? What's the point? And that's not me dissing George. He's an artist. He lives for paint. So that's his bag. That's his thing. It doesn't matter. If it's a paint and it's a brush, he's all over that. So he knew there was something wrong, and he came upstairs and he said, are you mad at me? And I just, we talked for 20 minutes. I'm like, I don't feel good enough for anything in this world anymore, to anybody at any point, at any time, and I'm over it. So we talked about it. We talked about all kinds of things. We talked about what's the easiest way to get projects done here so there's not procrastination. I have a list of every day I clean a different part of the house. Every day, religiously, faithfully, I clean every day. I even got a jump start on tomorrow's. I cleaned the powder room. Tomorrow's bathroom day. I cleaned the powder room today so that I didn't have it tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 21st. Tomorrow is my nephew's birthday. And then the 22nd is the anniversary of my brother-in-law's death. So, I don't even know what I was talking about. And this is just so typical for me. So, we talked about making a list. I asked him, I held his hands, and I said, what can we do to get the things done in the house? He said a list would help me. So we're going to make a list tomorrow of the important things down to the non-important things. Because there's some things that are very unimportant, right? And there's some things that are bigger. We talked at length about this green wall. Now, is this green wall awful? Or is it the fact that there's no color in this room? There's no life. There's no joy. There's no nothing. I don't have a coffee table. I don't have end tables. There's nothing on the walls. Everything is just very monochrome, gray. And I said to him, what if and I threw out some ideas. What if we did this? What if we got accent pillows, got a nice coffee table, what if we maybe put 2 hanging baskets over on the far short wall? We threw out all kinds of ideas. He said about wallpaper, like all kinds of things. But it got conversation going. See, what's happening is that I'm trying to be a widow and a bride at the same time. And that doesn't work. It's really hard on me. And the last 10 days have been hell. I got to a point where I'm thinking, like, maybe I should start believing in God and start praying. Because I feel like every day, if I make it another day, it's going to be a miracle. I stretched myself so thin in so many areas of my life that I can't stretch any further. So I've had 3 a.m. thoughts that are dangerous. I've talked to people on hotlines. I've said things are really hard and I just need someone to talk to. So I have a son that's 5 or so hours away, depending on traffic. He has Sjogren's syndrome, early stage heart failure, and compartment syndrome, acute or chronic compartment syndrome, and probably a DVT behind the knee and the left leg. He's using this compression machine that I purchased, the coils that were needed so he could be ambulatory to do the exercises. I purchased his 30-day meal ticket so that he could eat. I purchased his cell phone bill I just paid for, and his $45 internet bill I just paid for because he doesn't get his first check from his job for another week to 10 days. Now, all that just kept coming from my disability check, just one thing after another after another. Uber money to get him to the Knights of Columbus area where he could get his meals because he's in a flat. He has a mini fridge and a hot plate. So they have a program for $200 a month. You get a bagged breakfast, a bagged lunch, and a hot supper. I paid that. And so I just keep putting everything on my Discover card, which is now at $2,800. That's probably nothing compared to some people. Some people may say, oh my God, Poet, I would love to have your debt. But then let's talk about the $4,200 roof, and let's talk about the heater, and let's talk about the AC. But you know what? Whose fault that is? Ours. Because we bought this townhouse so fast. I didn't pick it. I didn't pick this house. I didn't pick this furniture. I didn't pick anything in here. This was all picked. And what's mine in here is what was brought from my apartment. Things moved at warp speed. Do I regret marrying my husband? No. I love him. He's wonderful. But he spent a lot of time alone, and I spent a lot of time alone because even though Sky was alive for 4 years, he was sick and he was dying. So basically, I was alone. So you take two people who've lived alone and done their own things, and you put them together, there's more bumps. It's like this constantly, and you're trying to learn about each other. So, having credit card debt when I have my car payment, which is mine, my responsibility, gas in my car, my responsibility, buying all the food in the house, my responsibility. I'm just being honest. Maybe too honest. Maybe I'm saying way too much. I don't know anymore. Car insurance, $1,200 every 6 months for a 2025 Corolla LE basic package lease, because his Audi at 2006, 180,000 miles is not going to be on the road forever. And I don't want to be broken down in the middle of a highway. So we have a 3-year lease on a Corolla. Okay. And then there's the minimum payment on the credit card. And there's everything else that just like you go through. What I'm saying is nothing new to anyone. Nothing. You guys know when you go in a grocery store, you come out with 4 bags and you probably have spent $100. And you're trying to figure out how to feed your family. I get it. I so get it. And because George has had to go to the cardiologist because his urologist, because we've had the optometrist and we've had the urologist and we've had the cardiologist and we've had the PCP. And that's just been in the last so many months that I've been with them, right? Okay. And so for me, it's just seeing my psychiatrist once every 3 months in telehealth, and she prescribes my meds. And then my new PCP, I won't see until next month. That's also George's doctor, and I just love her to pieces because I got a chance to meet her. So the urologist suggests cardiology. He goes to cardiology. He gets his ultrasounds, carotid ultrasound, his legs in this amazing ultrasound test I never saw before in my medical career to check blood flow, and then a CT scan of the heart, which showed calcium in his LAD, which is the widowmaker. A higher number of calcium than it's out of the normal range. So they put him on baby aspirin once a day to keep the blood flowing. He's in his 70th year. Where do you think my mind goes every day? Every day. He weighs 174. He's not a smoker. He's not a drinker. He eats very healthy. Once in a while, we'll splurge on something. Me, I don't give a flying F what I eat anymore because I'm at a point in life where it's like, I just don't care about so many things anymore. You know, you hit that point? Anybody hit that point? Anybody wake up in the morning and go, oh shit, I woke up this morning? Okay, supposedly we're able to rewire our brains and go, oh great, I woke up this morning. Thank you, Jesus, for giving me another day to go through this stuff. Now, as a so-called Buddhist, which obviously I've totally dropped the ball on that too, because I haven't meditated, like really meditated for, I don't know how long. I don't know. I failed at being a Buddhist too. I failed at being a friend. I failed at being a wife. I failed at being a Buddhist. I feel like, you know, just put a big F on my forehead and just, you failed. That's just how I feel. But thank God for that tea right now. And this was my supper. I had a muffin that I made. Banana nut. That's supper. I stretched myself too thin. What I did was, when I was on my own for those 6 months, I was so scared. I was so scared as Sky was dying. As Sky was dying, I just wanted to like breathe life back into his body. And I was so scared. And I reached out to people and they reached back, and I said, talk to me over on Messenger if you don't want to talk on here because this is very public. And a bunch of people reached out to me. A bunch. I have a list in my journal. I can get my journal. I can go down the list of first names and I shout out birthdays, right? If I have all the dates correct, there's 2 of them coming up on the 24th. I haven't forgotten anyone. Anyone who's contacted me, anyone who's commented, and I recognize your name by your name, because some people I don't recognize your little @ I don't know who you are by the @ but there's not one person I have forgotten up here. I haven't. And so here's what I was doing. I was on Messenger, I was on email, I was on text, I was on phone to a couple of people. I talked to one woman one time on the phone. I talked to one woman one time on the phone. And one other woman one time on the phone, I think, maybe twice. And then way back in the day, I talked to my friend Erin on the phone. Erin, you'll remember this. What was it, honey? Way back. And I stretched myself to a point where I didn't know if I was coming or going. I was hurting. I was lost. I couldn't even think. I still can't. And I'm like, what do I do? I met George. He had gone through a really rough time with his divorce. And I knew he was the one. He was the one no matter what. He was the one. And there's something about him that we click. But boy, this has been hard on him. And all the stuff he's going through is hard on me. Really, because he's been solo a long time and I've been solo a long time. And so everything just moved so fast for like both. We just like boom, boom, boom. And other people have gotten married faster and gotten engaged faster. And anyway, it was quick and we got the house. And here we are. And now I'm like, I don't know. I don't know anything. I wake up in the morning and I look out the window and I go, where am I? Like literally, like where am I? I'm really in a bad place. A really bad place. This is not about numbers anymore on YouTube. This is not about who likes me, who doesn't like me, who wants to be in my life, who doesn't want to be in my life. This is about somebody who knows there's something really wrong and there's a lot of hurt and there's a lot of pain, and I have not come to terms or grips with everything I've been through and everything I've seen and everything that's etched into my brain. And for anyone who's lost someone, you know what that feels like and you know how hard that is. And then try and be everything for everyone because you want to be a helper. I'm an INFJ. It's what we do. We stretch ourselves so thin to help as many people as we can because I know what it's like to lose a spouse. I know what it looked like when Sky was dying. I was there when he vomited blood. I get it. I was there when they carried him out. I was there at his last breaths. Like, I know all that. I saw it. I write to him regularly on his obit. I have to, for me. So I'm not, how long is this? 23 minutes. I'm sorry. What do I want to be? What do I want to be? I want to be happy. I want to be that person that wakes up in the morning and says, thank you, Jesus, for allowing me another day of goodness. I want to feel that goodness. I want to see the sun. And if it's raining, I want to enjoy the raindrops. I want to hold my husband. I want to love my husband. I want to kiss the side of his neck. Someone said, my UTIs might be from too much lovemaking. That's not the case. I'm older, he's older, you know. Who knows what direction my bladder has dropped in. So, a lot of days, I don't feel well. I don't feel well. My stomach hurts, my back hurts. I hurt. Like, everywhere sometimes I hurt. My heart rate goes up. And nothing is pleasant about it. But I don't want that. I want to get up. I want to have a cup of tea. I want to get moving early. I talked, get going, get doing. I talked to George today. I said, listen, do you think maybe we could get a treadmill? Now, I'm just bitching about money, so don't come at me. Please, please don't come at me. Years ago, a few years back, when Sky and I were first together, I got a treadmill. It was a fold-up kind. It was really nice. Had a place for your water, had a place for your phone. I would put my earbuds in. I would listen to music. I would walk. You know why? Because I weighed 125 pounds at 5'2", and Sky told me I was too heavy. You're getting a little heavy there, aren't you, poet? So I walked. And I ate like a rabbit. And I got down to 96 pounds. And my doctor said, you're killing yourself. So George is a walker. He loves to walk. Just like Sky. Just like Sky. He'll walk anywhere, anytime, and he'll walk. And walk and walk and walk. Me? I'm kind of like a slow trot. If we go to, we go over to the mall, those lights, man, they get me all weird. People bumping into me, coming at me, all directions, like panic, fear, feeling trapped. And I get all this pressure in my head and pressure in my chest, and I keep walking to get my 5,200 steps in because we need to get the exercise. My heart, his heart, right? So, because I don't want to be a widow again. We walk the neighborhood. If it's nice enough out, we walk. He sets the timer, we walk. Everything is very synchronized and all that. And I've talked to him about it, and he said, honey, we don't have to look at the watch. We don't have to set the timer. We don't have to do 14-minute laps. We don't have to. However you want to walk. If you want to walk 5 minutes and you want to walk 5 minutes later, that's fine by me. So I talked about a treadmill. So we're going to look into getting a treadmill for here at the apartment, or at the townhouse, so that I can work my walking around when I am emotionally and physically okay enough to do so, because mind and body are connected. I hate when I hurt people. I hate when I hurt people. And never do I want to do that. Never. I want everybody, all my women, to come over and have coffee with me. Tea. I'm scared right now. There's a lot of month left, and is there enough money to get me through the amount of month? Because of the new cell phone, my bill went up because I'm paying monthly on my cell phone. You know, I don't know whether the smartest thing to do is go in AT&T in the mall, because they have an AT&T, and say, look, I want to pay off my cell phone, put it on a credit card. I don't know if this is smart. Pay off my cell phone and pay on the credit card. If I can manage, is that what I should do? To bring my cell phone bill back down to $51 instead of $91, right? There's just things. And I don't think I've ever felt this alone. I don't know. And it's not a woe is me. This is me. This is my life. This is like, my son's out there. He's not well. I should bring them here. I have an extra bedroom. I'm breaking out in hives like crazy because anxiety is a wonderful thing. And I should bring them here. Every time I suggest, like, let me come and get you. Let George and I come and get you. Well, let me square things up, Mom. I think he's scared to come here. I think he's scared of being around people because he was alone so long when he was in prison. And if you're new here, yes, my son was in prison for 5 years and 7 months, and he was in county jail for 3 years because he was a heroin addict and he stole a bunch of stuff. And because he stole a bunch of stuff, his misdemeanors became felonies, and his felonies caused jail time and prison time, and he was in, and he got really sick, and he had a heart attack, and it was a mess, and I was the only person that stayed in his life, and I was the only person going into state prisons and county jail, and I was the only person who financially supported him for years. And then I had a breakdown, and I lost my CNA license because I wasn't reliable, and I'm on disability because I'm not reliable to stay in one place in one time. As a CNA, I'm taking care of people. I can't walk out on an 85-year-old woman who needs me to feed her and take her to the toilet. Right? When we go anywhere, George has to check the exits, the bathrooms. How crowded is it? Where are the tables? Is there any place I can sit where there's a wall behind me so I'm sure that no one's going to come up behind me and try and kill me because I've been in abusive relationships, like the whole 9 yards. I'm just trying to make it. And YouTube, I'm thinking in my dream world with all the financial changes, I've never had to replace a roof. I lived in apartments for so long, and when I lived in houses, they were brand new houses, right? I didn't have that situation, but we need a roof. So it's like, how can I bring in some money, a little bit of money to help out? Well, maybe if I could get that 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours, like that ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. People are not watching my videos that long. I don't have it. I don't have the thing. I know that. I've said that. I get it. I'm understanding of all that. I'm having the same issues as everybody else. There are people out there that don't even have a roof, let alone have to replace it. I understand that too. So my thing was, maybe I could do this to help George. Then he's working on his website. The website is up. I need to change out templates. He needs to show me how to change out templates. He needs to show me more how to use my computer. And so I could start blogging. But again, in order to blog, you need to get like advertising and things like that. And so that's when the whole TikTok thing came in, which I have to learn TikTok. And TikTok is vicious. Instagram is vicious. YouTube is vicious. Like, but it's also kind. And there's a lot of caring people out there lifting each other up. And that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying rewiring the brain. And instead of saying, oh my God, we've got to put a new roof on. It's like, oh, thank you, Jesus, I have a roof, you know? All of that, turn it around, turn it around, turn it around, turn it around, turn it around. I keep telling myself every day, turn it around. Hug George a little tighter. Bring my son here. Love him. Care for him. Do this for him. Do that do whatever I can do. I keep telling myself, do better, be better, care more, show more, be present more for all the people, all the time, so that you don't let people down, so that you don't hurt people, so that you're not a loser, so that you're not all the things. And then you get so overwhelmed, you're like, I don't even know what the hell is going on in my life anymore. So, there are people out there that have reached out to me and I've reached out to them and they've just picked up, like we talked yesterday. There was no animosity, no, no hurtful things. Like, they just like, hey, I get it. I understand. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you. And there's more people for me to reach out to. There's more people for me to talk to. There's more people I love. There's more people I care about. So, again, my apology if I hurt anyone, if that was not my intent. Sometimes you get into something and then you burn out. And you burn out, and you burn out fast, and you burn out before you realize you burn out. And I'm trying to adjust and adapt to Sky being dead. I'm trying to adjust to being a Mrs. I wasn't a Mrs. for 10 years, 15 years. What? 10 years? From 2015 to 2025, 10 years. I'm trying to adjust to my new city, my new house, my new neighbors, the man that's laying next to me. And what do I do with social media across the board? Like, I don't know. I'm older. I don't understand a lot of this. But I know people, and I know hurt, and I know pain, and I know suffering, and I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm tired, I'm tired, and I don't, this is so long. I'm so sorry. There's so much, there's so much I feel like I need to get out and say and do, and so that people can go, yeah, I understand about the bills, poet. Like, they're stacked this high. Like, I couldn't get groceries this week. Like, I totally get it. I get it. I understand all of it. I hear it. And here's the thing. I feel like George married down. I said this right to him. I said, I feel like you married down when you married me, because he was in a different lifestyle, a different economics plateau. And then he got divorced and he married me, and I had nothing. I have nothing. I have this little tiny Social Security disability check, and it got tinier when they started taking Medicare out, right? A big hit. I'm thinking, like, should I drop my Medicare to get that $185 back in my check? It's crazy. It's crazy. I face full retirement in another year and a month. What then? Is my health going to be good enough that I can try and do anything work-wise? George is going to teach me the computer. That ought to be interesting. I'll let you know how it goes, maybe. But I'm not a spiteful, mean person. I'm not. I swear I'm not. I just stretched myself too thin, and too many things happened, and and I dropped the ball a million times over. A million times. I dropped the ball, dropped the ball, dropped the ball, dropped the ball. So I'm going to try really hard to do better and be better. And so if you say, how are you? And I go, mense immense, so, just understand that I'm hanging in there by my fingernails maybe, but that's how it is for a lot of us, most of us. And I'll keep reading my Go Be Kind book with the hopes that I can break out of some of these shells, and I can be that everyday happy person. Like, every damn day, get up and be happy. Be happy, be joyful, and understand that everything's going to work out no matter what. It's going to work out. One way or another, it's going to work out. And my life is going to go on until my last breath. And George's life is going to go on until his last breath. And that's that. And there are people that are going to love me. And there are people that are going to just hate me for every reason under the sun. And there are people that just go, she's too busy. She doesn't have the time for me. I will do better. I promise I will do better. I'm going to go. This is long. People will watch 13 minutes probably out of my 36. That's fine. I wouldn't watch any more than that either. I love you. I had time tonight. I already contacted a couple of people that I needed to. I'm going to grab a hold of a few more. I've talked to 3 people this evening. And I'm going to grab a hold of a few more. And if nothing else, say, hi, how are you doing? I'm so sorry I fell absent. And I talked to someone last night through text. And so I'm so grateful. And just for those of you that can, hang in there with me. And don't be afraid in the comments to tell me your woes and your worries and what you're going through, because sometimes purging this shit out is the best thing we can do. We were little kids. We were told to be seen and not heard. We were told not to talk about anything, not money, not debt, not poverty, not nothing. Parents talked about nothing. We knew nothing. And now here we are as senior citizens, and we're just trying to figure out what the hell is next for us, especially in today's world. So I'm going to go. Namaste. Thank you for being here. I love you guys. I will do so much better. I promise. I promise.